I have to talk about what's happened in Philadelphia. There was yet another shooting over the holiday weekend. I'm trying to get the exact statistics here so I don't say the wrong thing. Hold on. Let me find it. What page is this on? I just had it, but of course I lost it. 5 dead. And the shooter in this particular case is said to have been a cross-dresser. That's as much as we know about this person, that they're a cross-dresser. And they are both pro-Trump and pro-BLM, according to the writings that you read of this person's online. The police are not officially saying his name. Much of the media is not saying his name at all. I don't say the names of mass shooters on my show for very good reasons that I've explained many times. But it's weird that nobody's saying it. And it leads me to wonder whether there's some sort of protection going on in this particular person who is a man with breasts from that picture and dresses like a woman. The police are calling him they in the initial statements. And it does make me wonder, because I first heard about this on NPR's Upfront podcast this morning. And the way they wrote about this particular shooting was about, there was another mass shooting. I think it's 3 dead in Fort Worth. There was this mass shooting in Philadelphia, 5 dead. And this is about gun violence in America. There are too many guns. What are we going to do to stop the guns, the guns, the guns? They did not mention the fact that this person has obviously some gender confusion. And this is one of a series now we've seen of people in the trans community committing mass acts of violence, which I guess we're supposed to ignore the trans ideology and identity as having nothing to do with it. However, I look at pieces like this one from David Strom in Hot Air that says, look, being transgender doesn't necessarily make you violent. But he writes, I also think it's not a coincidence that a number of mass shootings lately have been carried out by transgender identifying people. Alphabet ideology radicalizes people and convinces them that they are hated by and under constant threat from the larger society. Going on, unfortunately, a volatile combination has been created, putting people with obvious mental instability in the middle of a culture war battle, and nothing good can come from this. Now, we don't know what caused this particular person to snap, Evita, but when they're trans, it doesn't get mentioned at all. I mean, it gets buried by the mainstream media.
Absolutely. And Amala and I were on air with you when the Tennessee shooter story broke. That was an awful situation. We still haven't seen the manifesto. We have to be talking about the reasons behind these shootings. And the Democrats, they always say guns, guns, guns. And we that's what the entire conversation is always centered around. And there are so many other factors that come into play here. I mean, there is violence normalized and dehumanization normalized in video games and violent movies and TV shows. You also have a massive mental health problem, especially among Gen Z people. This is the most mentally ill generation to date. That has to be taken into consideration. And then you have all of these prescription drugs over prescribing. You have people with gender dysphoria, like the person that you quoted before, an ideology that's telling you that you're hated by the whole world. These are things that we need to be thinking about. The Columbine shooter, one of them was on antidepressant drugs that cause suicidal and homicidal ideation. That we cannot be ignoring these important factors that come into these mass shootings if we're actually serious about stopping them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's happening over and over, Amala, and I do wonder, when is the left going to say, all right, let's be honest about the fact that it is growing in numbers, and there might be a reason behind that we're going to have to get real clear on. I don't see them doing that, but how many more have to die before we actually take a look at the messaging and the mental instability of obviously a portion of this community?
Right. I mean, those are two very good questions. I don't think that they are going to be honest about it because it in no way serves their agenda. If they want to push forward what they're doing right now in children's education with gender confusion and gender theory, if they want to push forward some of the legislation in regard to medical transitioning and blind affirmation gender care, that's not going to work if these stories continue to come out. So as long as they are pushing that agenda and they haven't met their goals there, these stories are going to continue to be hushed. It was really hard in looking into these stories to even find out that this individual was African American responsible for the shooting. And it's all because it does not fit their certain agenda. Now, they'll say they're worried about more hate being pushed towards trans people if the real story comes out. But what actually creates hate is a lack of transparency. If you are not honest about these things, and people's skepticism leads them to find out that this was a cross-dressing male, guess what that is going to create? More hate towards the trans community, more hate towards gender ideology and gender theory. You need to be transparent in these cases and tell it to people straight so that they can make decisions for themselves.
Yes, well said. And to your point, Evita, it's been 3 months since that shooting in Tennessee, in Nashville, 3 months, and the manifesto has still not been shared. I will say that even the parents of the victims in that case are fighting its disclosure, but with all due respect to them, they don't have the final say on it. Like many people, I am eating healthier these days, or at least trying to, and that's why I love good olive oil. And by good, I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthiest nutrients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for many months growing stale. That's why I like my olive oil direct from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a guy named TJ Robinson, also known as the Olive Oil Hunter. When I first tasted TJ's farm fresh oils, I fell in love with their vibrant, grassy flavors. They're delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his fresh pressed olive oil club, TJ's willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils for just $1. To help him cover shipping. Best of all, there's never a commitment to buy anything, and you can cancel your membership at any time. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 shipping and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to harvestfreshnow.com. That's harvestfreshnow.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 in shipping. harvestfreshnow.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.